Walker Inspection is committed to taking a preventative stance regarding H2S and other atmospheric exposures, with an expectation for our employees to do the same. This training will help instruct employees on how to properly use the gas monitor calibration and bump station, as well as troubleshooting the system if an error occurs. Before any monitors can be calibrated or bump tested, ensure that the docking station unit is assembled and hooked up correctly. First thing you will need to check is that the power cord is plugged into the back of the station and into the outlet on the wall. Next, ensure that the docking station cord on the back of the station is plugged in and that it is connected to the computer itself. This ensures that the docking station and the computer can connect with the app needed to calibrate and bump test the monitors. Then, you will need to ensure that the gas bottle hose is hooked up to the right nozzle on the calibration station, which will be gas 1. This hose has to be connected to gas 1 only. It cannot be hooked to any of the other nozzles as it will not calibrate or bump test correctly and will cause the monitor to fail. The other end of this hose now gets connected to the gas bottle. Make sure the gas bottle gauge is tightly screwed on. Check the gauge that the needle is still in the green and not empty and in the red. If the bottle is empty, it will need to be changed out with a new one. If your bottle is low and you are not able to find one locally in your area, you can contact Laura, the safety coordinator, for a new bottle. The final step is checking that the air hose is fully connected to the back of the docking station. This hose is larger than the gas hose. The other end of this hose will need to run outside for the docking station to get fresh air in order to filter through each one of the gases when calibrating or bump testing the gas monitors. Ensure that this hose is free of any obstructions such as items blocking it, or that it does not have anything pinching the hose off. The first step in using the docking station is ensuring that the computer is up to date with any updates that are necessary. If the updates are not done, it could cause issues with the app used to run the system and monitor calibration and/or bump test failure. The easiest way to do this is checking in the bottom right-hand corner of your computer, and you'll see the cursor here for any updates. If you're unsure if it does need updates, you can check this by clicking the Start button and click Settings. From there, search Updates and open them to see. As you can see here, this computer has all updates completed. If for some reason the system app is still not working correctly and the updates are done, simply refresh the computer by clicking the Start button or the Power button. From there, hit Restart. Once the computer restarts, you can attempt a calibration or bump test again. The system Walker Inspection uses is the SDMGX docking station, and you'll see that app on the desktop computer screen. Once you have clicked on the app itself, it'll pull the system up. Ensure the docking station is powered on, and on the bottom display of the app, you will see PMSDMCOM4 found, which means the docking station is connected properly and ready for use. Now the monitor can be placed in the docking station. The monitor needs to be off first. To place the monitor in the docking station, place it in bottom side first where the gas filters are, then push the top side down and it will click once fully connected. The red bracket will come down over the monitor. This bracket can get stuck and may need to be moved slightly to open. However, be very careful as it is plastic and can break easily if too much force is applied to it. The bracket must lock in or you will not be able to perform the test. Now that the monitor is in and the red bracket is down, the monitor will automatically turn on and transmit the monitor to the app. Before you're able to calibrate or bump test the monitor, it needs to be fully connected to the system. At the bottom, you'll see the monitor found, but you need to wait until it says Monitor Completed as seen here. First, we're going to show you how to do a full calibration of the monitor. On the very top left of the screen, there is a very small box that says Only Connected Units. Click the box. This will show you only the monitor you have connected in the docking station. Then single-click on the Calibration button on the bottom right side. It'll pop up a small browser with all of the different gases that it's going to test in the monitor, and you'll click OK. Then click OK on the next browser that shows the levels being tested. Then it's going to ask to calibrate and click OK to start calibration. From here, it's going to run all 4 of those gases to the monitor and test them. This will take a few minutes to complete. If it blinks red, calibration fail, this means that the hoses, connections, and troubleshooting process needs to be gone through. If none of the troubleshooting processes work, please contact your area manager as there may be a problem with the monitor. Here is an example of a failed test. This one failed for 2 reasons. The hose wasn't connected to the right nozzle on the docking station, and the hose was pinched off by an overhead door outside. Once calibration is complete, it should show a green blinking icon saying Calibration Pass. It also tests the alarm system, which should say Alarm Pass in blinking green as well. Once we get Calibration Pass, the calibration sheet needs to be printed off. In order to do that, click the Log button on the top right-hand side. Double-click the correct serial number, which can be seen on the original screen. Then double-click the correct year and month. This will display the page to print. Click the printer icon. Do not click Certificate as it will not print correctly. Click the printer icon and click OK to print. Write your name on the certificate and turn it into the office. This will help us to track serial numbers with employees. When removing the gas monitor from the docking station, the monitor will automatically turn off and can be removed. Make sure to squeeze the red tab to unlock the lid. Again, remember this is plastic and can break easily. The red bracket is required to perform the process and won't work if the red lid will not lock in place. For confined space kits, the certificates need to be placed in the kit as it needs to be on location with the permit. It will also need to be turned in at the end of the job with the rest of the paperwork. You can refer to the confined space seller entry procedures to ensure all documentation is printed and taken to the job. The calibration tests must be done for any personal 4 gas monitors every 90 days. If the monitor is being calibrated for confined space, then monitor calibration is required within 7 days of the job. A bump test will be the same process as the calibration. The only difference is we will click the bump test button on the bottom right-hand side instead of the calibration button. The bump test is going to be much shorter than the calibration, so it will not take as long. Again, when the bump test has either failed or passed, that will display. As you can see here, this bump test failed. This monitor failed because the filter hose was pinched off on the outside, and the calibration station could not get clean air into the bottle. Continue with troubleshooting processes if your bump test fails. And now this is an example of what one looks like when it is passed. It blinks green bump pass and print the bump certificate. The printing process is the same. Click top right-hand side on Logs. Double-click on the serial number for the monitor being tested. Double-click on the year and the month, and it will display the information for the test. You're going to click on the printer icon, and it will print off the bump certificate. A bump test needs to be done within 24 hours of the job for the confined space kits. This documentation needs to be in the kit as well as it will need to be turned in with the paperwork at the end of the job. Please note, when charging the monitor, make sure they are on a solid surface and lying flat so as to not break the charger and the charging port on the monitor. Should a worker have any questions, please contact the training specialist, Kylie Smith, at 307-257-4145 or your area managers. All employees have access to this gas monitor calibration station training on Talent LMS.